All right, we are covering Dear David today. Have you ever heard of Dear David?
No, I've heard of you, David, or David, you. Or you, David.
No, it's completely different. All right, good. So it's something new for you to be spooked out about. This might be a little lengthy because I'm going to go through every single one of this guy's tweets, but I'll just read them in a row. So, Dear David is a Twitter post that lasted over a year. It was like a thread. This guy was having a paranormal experience and he was tweeting everything that was happening. And he got he had about 1 million followers. Like, people could not look away from his Twitter feed once it started off interesting right away.
Did anybody verify his happenings?
I'll get to is it a hoax at the end?
Okay.
Spoiler alert. I don't know. It's one of those, it could be, but it's not. No one's 100% come out and said it is, but people have tried to debunked it. So it is supposedly a true tale. I also wasn't 100% sure where this guy lives out of these tweets, but on his Twitter it shows Brooklyn, New York right now, so that's what we went with.
Okay.
And then, so his name's Adam Ellis, and he is the writer of these chilling stories posted on Twitter. He is also, or was, a writer and illustrator, so that's one thing that makes people skeptical of him already, is he's already creative. He's also a former BuzzFeed worker, so they're very popular with popular articles and everything, so that's another thing people thought maybe he was writing just to make that look better. So these debuted during the summer of 2017 and continued through the winter of 2018. And then, like I already said, there's nearly 1 million followers that were just keeping their eyes on this. And obviously way more than 1 million have seen this now. Once it surfaced and everything was out there, everyone else followed up on it. So I'm going to post in our show notes, I will do a link to the feed showing all of his stuff because there are pictures that go with this and videos so that you guys can see those. We'll post some of them on our feed, but as far as the videos, I don't know if we're allowed to post those, and it would just be easier to have them in there for you guys. All right. So it starts on August 7th, and it starts off as a thread, so the first dozen or so of his tweets are from one day. He's just trying to tell a story.
Okay.
It says, so my apartment is currently being haunted by the ghost of a dead child, and he's trying to kill me. He started appearing in dreams, but I think he's crossed over into the real world now. The first time I saw him, I was experiencing sleep paralysis and saw a child sitting in the green rocking chair at the foot of my bed. So have you ever experienced sleep paralysis?
I have had times where I've woken up, as a child, and I've, walked around my room, and I couldn't yell. I knew I was awake but asleep at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And I've, sleepwalked a couple times, and during it, I've been, I knew where I was, but I couldn't, I was freaked out, and I remember trying to call for my parents,
I hate
and
that.
I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's sleep paralysis.
I think sleep paralysis is when you're just laying there, and you can open your eyes, and that's all you can do.
I know whenever you sleep, when you have your REM sleep, you have sleep paralysis, so you don't, the theory is so you don't act out your dreams.
Yeah. So people are actually still paralyzed, but they open their eyes and they're awake and seeing something. Although some people are I feel like some people are still sleeping.
Have you had it?
Yeah. I think I recall, it's been a long time, but waking up and not being able to move or do anything, but I don't remember anything creepy happening in the meantime of me being just paralyzed there. So I don't know. All right, so next. And I'm just taking a small pause between each tweet so you can kind of tell where it breaks apart, but these are all on the same day right now. He had a huge misshapen head that was dented on one side. I did my best to draw it. So here's a picture of him.
What's a misshapen head?
It looks like that.
Misshapen?
It looks like someone took a bite out of his head. Do you see the picture?
Yeah, I think it's misshapen.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It looks like a...
There's a creepier photo later on.
Dented.
Yeah. For a while, he just stared at me, but then he got out of the chair and started shambling toward the bed. I couldn't move because I was paralyzed. And then he said, I have sleep paralysis fairly often. It sucks. That would suck.
What show do we watch where they had that often? Was it a movie? They had sleep paralysis a lot?
Wasn't it the
show?
not Bly Manor, one of the Manor shows.
Okay, yeah.
I think. I'm not
Did this guy watch that? These are before that. Okay.
I was going to say these are before that. But this might be based off of something else. Right before he reached my bed, I woke up screaming. Oh yeah, so he said I woke up screaming. So sleep paralysis, you're still kind of sleeping. Sorry guys, we're not doing a good job at explaining sleep paralysis. I had another dream a few nights later where I was in a library and a girl came up to me and said, "You've seen Dear David, haven't you?" I was like, "Who?" And she said, "Dear David, you saw him." So at that point, she didn't even question it. She just stated it. But the first time she questioned it. She continued, "He's dead. He only appears at midnight. And you can ask him 2 questions if you said Dear David first." Then she added, "But never try to ask him a 3rd question or he'll kill you." So I don't think I'd ask 1 question. But, you teach there. I was very shaken. Having 2 dreams about the same thing is pretty weird. Anyway, a couple weeks passed without incident.
Hey, you know how you talk about having recurring dreams?
Yeah.
I never have them.
Oh, yeah. I have them quite often. I mean, there's time apart from them, but I remember them enough where, like, I told you, like, the other day I was visiting someone in Scotland, and it's nowhere near what Scotland actually looks like when I was there, but it's whenever I dream about it, it's a certain layout. It's really weird. But luckily it's not a scary dream. Then David came back in another dream. Same situation. I was in bed and he was sitting in the rocking chair near the window staring at me. So yeah, there's a rocking chair involved, and just wait till you see the video I show you later. That's when I was on... Huh?
I would never have a rocking chair. Well, that's when you're on edge.
The other day I was telling Alan that I got goosebumps because I watched a video by myself. Luckily, it was during the day. In the dream, I say, "Dear David, how did you die?" He mumbles, "An accident in a store." I say, "Dear David, what happened in the store?" He groans, "A shelf was pushed on my head." I'm frozen with fear. I ask, "Who pushed the shelf?"
That's 3.
Yeah, it is.
Amy
Good.
and C, yeah.
Oh, look, you caught both things. Yeah. David doesn't answer. I realize that I've asked a 3rd question, which I'm not supposed to do. At that point, I wake up absolutely terrified. The next couple days, I Google deaths in the city, but can't find anything about a kid named David dying in a store. I even try different names. Daniel, Dylan, Devin, nothing. A few weeks go by without incident. Sort of randomly, the apartment above mine is vacated, and I have the opportunity to move into it. It's a larger apartment, so I'm thrilled. Another month or 2 goes by, and I sort of forget about Dear David. I think he lost track of me because I moved upstairs. But lately, something strange is happening. For the past 4 nights, my cats gather at the front door at exactly midnight and just stare at it, almost like something is on the other side. So here's a photo of their cats looking.
Oh God, I hope our cats, when they're like staring at nothing, that they're actually staring at nothing.
Yeah, it's creepy. Their cats make it more creepy. Last night I got a weird feeling and looked out the peephole, and I'm dead certain I saw movement on the other side. When I opened the door and turned on the hall light, nothing was there, but my cats seemed unnerved, bushy tails, etc. Oh yeah, when they get all feisty in their tails.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I am right now. Dear David found me, I think. I don't know what to do. I'll keep you updated. So now we're on August 9th, so 3 days later. So that was a happening of a couple months, I believe, that he just put together and then brought us up to current. Update, for the 6th night in a row, my cat has walked over to the door promptly at midnight and stared at it. So he has a picture of a clock and the cat staring. And then he says, "What is going on?" And so here's this video.
Is it spooky? On the wall?
Yeah, he's just watching the door. He goes up to the door, investigates a little bit. He did meow. You can't hear it because the speakers are in my headphones. But yeah. So there's that. It's not terrible. It's enough to frighten anybody if you're alone in
I would tell myself there's like a mouse in the wall.
Exactly.
So
or there's a rodent in the hallway. So he said, "Okay, so I took a photo through the peephole because I'm scared to open the door. I feel like I saw something. I couldn't tell, so I mustered the courage to open the door. Nothing was out there, but I took another photo. Look at this." He says, "Is it just me, or is there something in the first photo right where the banister meets the shelves, hiding on the stairs?" So I don't see it.
I see it, maybe a shadow. Were you going to put these pictures so everyone can see him?
Yep.
Just leave the link to this? Or?
Yeah, so I'll post some of these photos on our feed, but there are quite a lot of them, so I will also put a link to the long string of tweets so you guys can see everything and see the video.
I don't think I probably wouldn't take a picture or look through the peephole.
Yeah, it creeps me out. Oh, he zoomed in. So there's a little black blur right there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I saw, but I don't know.
He's like, "I wasn't sure if it was a smudge or something, so I took a second photo from inside. There was something out there." So this photo doesn't scare me too much, but He's also at a little bit of a different angle. Oh, see this right here? It's not right there. But it's still a little bit of different. I don't know. I deadbolted the lock and got in bed because I don't know what else to do. I can still hear my cat meowing at the door.
I would hate that.
Then he does a picture of his cat in the dark so their eyes are glowing and says, I am pretty scared. I would be too. It's been pretty quiet tonight. I'm going to try out a sleep talk app to see if anything happens during the night. I'm headed to bed, but the cats are back at the door. They only do this in the middle of the night. It's routine now. And here we go again. Oh no, and here we go. Just minutes before midnight.
Cat's at the door.
Yep. So the cat's just meowing at the door. And it's kind of, I don't know, he kind of seems distressed with how he's meowing. Oh, and then he just plops over. But meowing again, it's just kind of...
It's just very weird.
I don't know if
looking
it's...
at the door the whole time.
Yeah. And he does yawn. I don't know. Dogs stress yawn. I don't know if cats stress yawn. But I'm just going to say that the cat stress yawned. And now both cats, he's like, they're both there now. So both cats are investigating the door.
Under the door.
Yep. He said, I don't even know if this is the right kind of salt. So then he puts salt around his doors so that it doesn't come, whatever's out there doesn't come in. I mean, I would try anything at that time. He said, Maxwell is extra talkative tonight. He's obviously trying to tell me something, so the cat just keeps crying. I used a sound app to record my apartment last night. It makes individual recordings each time it hears something. There were 33 recordings.
Are they all the cat?
It says most of them are pretty vague. A couple of them are passing cars and the
like, I see.
Oh, and the like. But there are 3 that I'm interested in. The first is a snapping sound and what seems like a single step. It's odd because I didn't get out of bed all night. Do you want to hear these, or I'll show you at the... Yeah. So I heard a footstep.
I just heard the snap.
Yeah, I heard a snap. And then he says, this one is weird because of the 33 recordings. This is the only one that has a strange electronic sound throughout. All right, so that seemed very lame. It sounded like just electricity.
Okay, so there's recordings. I would not listen to these. Ever.
No. I don't think I could ever set up a camera in our house. So, and then he says, this directly follows the electric static, another snap, and then he groans in his sleep. So we won't even listen to that. These happen between 2 to 3 a.m. I have no explanation for them. I'll keep recording and share if I find anything curious. So then he says, getting the F out of my haunted apartment for the weekend, and posts a selfie. And then he says, I, ... have no explanation for this. This is on August 12th. Both of these are. And I've clicked into it. The picture or whatever it is gone. And I went on another site that tried to sum everything up. And as soon as I get to this part, it's also gone. It says the page doesn't exist. So I don't know what he has no explanation for. But then he goes into the next day on the 13th. He says, so a weird thing just happened. Take it with a grain of salt. I bought a Polaroid camera this weekend because they're fun and dorky. I decided to take a few photos around my apartment.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah, Polaroids are stupid and fun and inherently sort of creepy. I didn't expect to find anything, and for the most part, I didn't. I took a couple of my living room and bedroom. That's the rocking chair I first saw David in. They're pretty unremarkable. So that's the chair. There's a video with it later. It's unnerving. Then I went into the hallway and snapped a photo. The Polaroid developed completely black. Now, we have one of these.
They'll come out completely white sometimes. Like the first one every roll.
So they're completely finicky. If you expose the whole pack, which he'll do shortly here, they're all white. But I've gotten them all black too, depending on if you accidentally had the flash on, depending on the setting. So there's that to take into consideration. But he tries some things. I even ripped open and destroyed a fresh pack to see if it was just an undeveloped Polaroid, but they start out white. I also thought maybe I accidentally covered the lens with my finger, so I took a photo while intentionally covering it. And so you can see in his photo, it's green. You can even see his finger, because your finger usually gets close to the lens. The photo on the left is me covering the lens with my finger. The one on the right is my fully lit hallway taken just after midnight.
Yeah, they're definitely different.
And people are skeptical here because, who's to know if that's really what he did? He could have just taken a picture in a dark room. But I like to believe it was real. So this could be nothing. I'm not sure what to make of it. Okay, one last thing, because I wanted to double check. Here's a couple videos of me taking photos. So there's just some videos.
Do they have a photo of a video of him taking photos?
Yeah, that's what these videos are. Oh, a photo. I see what you did there. He'd need a second photo, wouldn't he?
Yeah, probably.
And then the hallway. So there's another video. Oh, so is he I think he's
I think he's proving it.
He's proving that he took it out. It came out totally black again for a second time. So there's a really interesting photo coming up. People try to debunk it, but I still think it's creepy. Honestly, I don't know why I'm still effing, or I'm not going to swear, around with this camera. There might be a logical explanation. Someone told me to take photos from farther away, so I tried that. Once with my iPhone and once with the Polaroid. Wait till you see how creepy this is. Don't read it. What do you see?
I don't want to be creeped out. I don't want to be creeped out.
What's the difference between the two photos?
Is the iPhone on the left?
Yeah.
The room shows up light, like the hallway, and then in the Polaroid one, it's completely black.
You can't see the hallway. So someone tries to debunk this because of the shadows and everything, but I'm like, I don't know. That's freaking, how creepy is that? So left is with my phone, right is with my Polaroid. The hall light was on both times. Why is it pitch black each time with the Polaroid?
I know we have a Polaroid camera, and I feel like if we took a picture like that, they come out pretty...
I want to do this. I might do this tomorrow when it's bright out. However, if the room turns out black, we're moving. Okay.
I'm not taking pictures around our house after
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Are you already spooked a little?
I'm a tiny bit spooked right now.
Maybe we shouldn't be recording so late. This whole thread has been really convoluted, and I'm sorry if it's hard to follow. I just thought this was all weird and wanted to share. We're on the 14th now. I lost track that we went to the next day. Folks have been urging me to get some sage, so I did.
Good idea.
So he's saging his place, which is, very smart.
Saging
the hall and definitely saging the hell out of this rocking chair. I kept waking up feeling like something was wrong. But who knows? Maybe this will do something.
I feel like you'd wake up feeling something was wrong if you're always dwelling on...
Yeah. Well, next day, sage did not work. I haven't dreamed about David in a few months, but he appeared again last night. In the dream, my bedroom was filled with hazy smoke, but I could see David sitting in the chair across the room. He was smaller this time, almost shrunken. He didn't do or say anything except look at me. Anyway, it feels like a bad omen.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a good one.
No, you're right. All right, August 18th. It's been 2 weeks and he still does this every night at midnight, so it's one of the cats is at the door.
Oh, I would hate that.
Mm-hmm. Other weird stuff has been happening too. I've been recording myself sleeping, and it picks up this weird static electricity sound every night at 3 a.m. It lasts about 5 minutes. 3 a.m. I just got goosebumps. 3 a.m. I think they say is the witching hour.
Is it? I thought, there's something about...
Yeah, it's the witching hour, so there's that.
But is it 3 a.m. everywhere? You know how it's like...
Oh, we're going to go with yes. Now we're on the 17th. Oh, we were on the 17th. All right. Same thread. This morning I woke up to the whole house shaking. It felt like a small earthquake. I debated even mentioning that on Twitter because it sounds made up, but I distinctly felt the house swaying. It's just a whole bunch of small things happening at once. I feel so uneasy, like right before a thunderstorm comes. Everyone is telling me to move, but I don't have any guarantee that this won't follow me. They just issued a thunderstorm warning for tonight, so he was having his own little...
Oh, weird.
Sixth sense?
Yeah. So, this is my thing really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think everybody should, when they're dating and stuff, take their time and, not jump into things. But if I was him, I'd be, I'd be out trying to meet someone or, be on every dating app and be I'm willing to settle right now. I don't want to live alone.
Oh, I thought you meant, try to move in with somebody else. But
either way. Just not to be alone.
I need somebody else. I mean, if you posted roommate needed ASAP and you said why, you would get someone, but you would get a person who wanted to invite this thing out. So never mind.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be great. So he posts a picture of the city. Everyone in the city is talking about how weird the sky looks. I can hear rolling thunder in the distance. So it's just, it is a really pretty picture.
He knows everyone in the city.
All this ghost stuff has been spooky, but this past weekend was the first time I actually felt unsafe in my home. And we're on August 21st now. This is August 21st thread. On Friday night, there was supposed to be a huge storm. In the end, it passed, but that night was bizarre anyway. I fell asleep pretty early. I was incredibly tired for some reason. I had a dream that night where David was dragging me by the arm through an old, abandoned warehouse. I'm not sure why I didn't fight back in the dream or how he was strong enough to pull me, but that's dream logic for you.
Man, dreams I can't run. I have dreams. Actually, I do have recurring dreams every once in a while. I'll be playing football and there's like a fumble and I can't pick it up. Like that. It doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
But it's always...
I hate the ones when you can't run.
Like the things I can do in real life and I can't do in my dream. Mm-hmm. And I never try to run in my dreams.
It kills me. It was
Like David. I'm just kidding.
It was a creepy dream, but I didn't think much of it when I woke up. I took a shower and then I noticed something. I'd woken up with a huge bruise on my arm. So there's a nice bruise. He does state next. Now look, maybe I injured myself the day before and my arm was hurting during the night, which manifested as a dream. So he acknowledges the possibility. But like I had a scratch. Remember I had a scratch on my leg the other day? I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, I blame our cats for everything.
Yep. There could be a totally logical explanation for it, so I brushed it off. I went to get coffee, which I do every weekend. When I walk to the coffee place, I always pass a food cart repair depot. It's always incredibly busy, especially on weekends. I've lived in the neighborhood for over 4 years, and the place has always been jam-packed with carts getting serviced. But today, it was completely abandoned. The whole warehouse was totally gutted and empty. So here's a picture of the abandoned area. Well, almost empty. I went inside to look around because I was astonished that this place was suddenly empty after all these years. Basically, the only thing in the entire warehouse was a single green chair.
That's weird. Hey, maybe they retired.
Right. If you recall, David first appeared in my green rocking chair. It could be nothing, but it's weird that it was the only thing left behind. On my way back from coffee, the warehouse had been shuttered. It's remained shuttered since. Does he mean shut?
Well, you like shuttered, like shut down.
Because the door's shut now. Because it wasn't shut. I'm sure he didn't open it, because it's not his property. The chair, my bruise, dreaming about an empty warehouse, and then passing by one, it gave me the creeps. Needless to say, I didn't sleep much that night. Too many strange things are happening, and more frequently. So, I don't know. Anyway, it was a strange weekend. Alright, August 25th, there have been a few small developments in my apartment, but I'm not sure what to make of them. I just know I'm scared. If you recall, my cats usually gather at the door at midnight, but lately it's been getting earlier and earlier every night. I was almost used to routine, so when they started to cry at the door closer to 10 p.m., I was confused. They began a new routine: hover around the door at 10 p.m., cry for about 15 minutes, then wander off as if nothing's wrong. But this week, something else has been happening. Shortly after the usual cat stuff, around 10:30 or so, I started getting phone calls from an unmarked number.
Great.
And there's even a picture.
Oh.
My entire call history for the past week looks like this. You'll notice that I answered once yesterday. So it's the black one out of all the red.
Say what happens, answer.
Since this has been happening for days on end, I thought it might be an automated telemarketer or something. He does. Usually, if it's an automated thing, if you answer once, they'll quit calling, so I picked up. Instead, what I heard on the other end was a peculiar electrical static sound, very similar to the static my sleep app picks up at night. I didn't say anything. I just listened, waiting for some automated message to chime in. After about a minute, the static stopped, and there was silence.
Like, I have the creeps right now, and I'm just hearing the story, and I can't imagine, like, living that, and I never, ever want to.
It gets worse.
No.
I kept listening. I heard what I thought was breathing, but it was so faint I can't be sure. My heart was racing, so it was hard to hear. Then, just as I was about to hang up, I heard a very small voice whisper, "Hello." Something about the way they said hello freaked me out. It wasn't a question or a greeting, just hello. A flat statement, so quiet I could barely hear it. I panicked and hung up. I didn't know what else to do. I closed all the curtains in my apartment and turned on every single light. Sounds logical.
Hey, could you have told, like, I wish we would record this at, like, 9:30 in the morning, and I would have all day to forget about it.
Yeah, instead of 9 at night.
When it's dark.
Yeah. It's a good thing we got a 2-hour nap. We can stay up a little bit later, watch some rom-coms or something, and cheer out. I haven't even shown you the scary video. I know.
I almost don't want to watch it.
No, it's part of the show. I watched TV until dawn because I was too scared to go to sleep. I sort of feel like I'm losing my mind. If I look at each individual incident on its own, there are perfectly logical explanations for everything. But after 3 weeks of weird crap happening, I don't know how to make sense of it all. The only thing I feel like I can do right now is write everything down. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'll keep doing.
I feel that's kind of like it's kind of feel good
Okay.
too. Writing it, you don't feel as...
Yeah, you got other people with you. So I moved the green chair out of the bedroom weeks ago. It's been in various parts of the living room ever since, and this is a thread starting on August 28th. I need to take my headphones off so I don't hear anything. I don't think there's sound in the video, but I don't want
you want to hear?
It's just nothing.
Okay.
I should probably get rid of it, but I'm not sure what would have any effect. Well, you wouldn't have a rocking chair in your house. That's an effect. That's just my opinion. Also, I'm going on vacation to Japan in 3 weeks. I keep thinking I can make it to my trip. This will all end, as dumb as that sounds. David lost track of me once when I moved, so maybe if he believes I've left the apartment again, he'll leave me alone. Anyway, last week I bought a pet monitoring camera so I can keep an eye on the cats while I'm overseas. Doesn't that sound like a...
Yeah, who's
Fun.
scooping Letterboxd for 3 weeks?
Oh, he has friends
Oh,
watching
phew.
them. I don't know if I'd be watching...
You should have the friends come stay with him.
I don't think I'd have... if I had a friend with all these stories, like our
No,
friends
I
we
don't-
have that have a haunted house, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I have a hard time using their bathroom. It's basically... And yes, I know we have a haunted podcast, but we still have
Still.
our limits. It's basically... Huh?
Yeah, I said still.
Oh,
like,
yeah, still. It's basically a nanny cam that connects to the Wi-Fi.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can check in whenever you want. It runs
Oh,
24/7.
God, I hate that.
It also alerts you to sound and movement via an app.
This is why you said we're never getting the, the Ring doorbell either.
I wasn't saying that, but other people were saying it because you see creepy stuff. He has a picture of it, like, showing motion detection from blank, but he blacked out the company since he said that he doubts they wanted to be associated with ghosts. In any event, I decided to test it out this weekend. I was away from home one night, so I set up the camera before I left.
I mean, we have one, and you've never...
You videotaped that one time when our cat went missing. We weren't living there, so it was a little hard to watch the video back, but I kind of fast-forwarded it. All we found was a mouse in the house.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. My phone pinged periodically through the evening, alerting me to the cats running around and playing. Normal stuff. Then, around 11, it alerted me again that it detected motion. But when I checked the feed of my apartment, I didn't see anything. So, I'm getting nervous. So I watched the feed again. Still nothing. I watched it a third time and finally noticed something.
I don't want to hear it.
No, you won't. I'm just taking my
Okay.
headphones off so I don't hear anything. I don't think you can hear anything.
What
Watch
happens?
the chair. Just watch the chair. Do you see it might
Yeah.
be rocking?
Yeah, I hate it. Like, I don't know why it's...
So it just starts to rock.
Maybe a cat jumped out of it.
No, it wasn't rocking in the beginning of the photo.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe a cat rubbed on it.
No, there's no cat in this shot. Like, there's no way. Alright, so there's that. I knew it couldn't be the wind because I haven't had the windows open at all this summer. I have AC and like to keep it chilly. It was unnerving, but there wasn't anything I could do about it right then. So I flipped my phone off and tried not to panic.
I think we're...
Granted, he's not there, so it's okay.
I think what we should do is get rid of all furniture that is easily moved. Like, you told me the story of your parents,
Yeah.
where they, if this
yeah,
could be a different story, where they had a chair move on the floor, just on its own.
Yeah.
We can't have movable chairs.
No, we can't.
I don't like that video.
About half an hour later, I got another motion alert.
Is it the chair just rocking again?
Here's the feed of that alert. I don't remember.
I say just because I already saw the chair rock before.
Oh, watch the turtle shell up there.
Like, is it a wall decoration?
Yeah, it's a turtle shell.
Wait, what?
It fell off the
Oh.
wall. Like that's what happened.
Maybe it's a mini earthquake.
See, that's good. I mean, nothing else in the whole frame wiggled at all, but also things can just fall off of a wall.
Like the video of our friend's mom on her YouTube channel that we'll have to look at and investigate more, where the doll just moves
Yeah.
and she's like, oh.
Oh, it's fine. Everyone, I'm apologizing at 30 minutes in right now that this is going to be a longer episode because, like I said, this goes on for over a year, and we're only a month in.
A year? That's a long episode.
Very long episode. Alright, so we just watched the video of the turtle shell falling off. So he said, if you missed it the first time like me, look above the shelf. It's a little turtle shell that I hung on the wall. Yes, I know it's weird to own a turtle shell, but my family lives in Montana and I picked it up last year at a native trading post. And he has a picture of it. Since I've been back home, I've been too nervous to turn the camera back on, and today has been pretty quiet. That said, I feel really uneasy. I put the chair in the hall. I hope nothing else happens tonight. Yeah, I would just burn the chair. September 5th. It's happening again. I've been leaving my nanny cam on 24/7. It records every time there's movement or sound, as you know. I was going over the feed from this weekend and noticed some weird stuff. During the night on Saturday, while I slept, it recorded the cats in the living room. It seemed pretty unremarkable at first. But then, just a few moments, Maxwell freaks out and jumps over something invisible. So if you watch that, Maxwell's that cat, just because I've watched this and I know which one he jumps. He, leaps over. It looks like he leaps over something, but nothing's there.
To me, that's normal cat behavior.
I can accept that video. I don't think it was a bug or anything. Maxwell doesn't react like that with bugs. He just eats them. Something spooked him. What's more, I almost never get bugs. I've seen maybe 3 in all the years I've lived there. That sounds like an amazing place to live. Anyway, the next night, the camera recorded a couple more strange videos. Specifically, it recorded Maxwell doing this on and off for hours. See how he's sitting on his hind legs? He'd sit up on his hind legs and peer around the room as if looking for something, or looking at something. This is odd behavior for him, and I can't come up with an explanation for it, especially because of the next video. Here's the final video the camera recorded that night. So it's just Maxwell trying to basically, he looks like he's reaching for something and trying to hit it. Yeah, there could be a moth or something in this video flying around, but I don't think it is. And I don't know if he hisses at the end.
You know, looks like he's just
But he's following it around everywhere. I suppose there's a chance it was a fly, but I honestly never get flies, so that seems unlikely. I just can't shake
Where's the month? Sorry to interrupt you.
We're in September.
Okay, so there's still bugs out too. But
Yeah. I just can't shake the feeling that something has made its way into the apartment. It's odd behavior from Maxwell in any event. Things feel off this week. I can't explain it. September 16th. I've been having so many nightmares lately. They're way more intense than my usual dreams, too. I don't know if it's because I'm stressed or if it's something else. This afternoon, I took a nap and had a dream I haven't been able to shake. In the dream, I was laying in bed and rolled over to face the other direction. On the pillow next to me was a severed head with a bloody spine attached, snaking down the bed. Nope. The head was staring right at me, somehow still alive. It had this huge smile plastered on his face. This is a very nightmare. Holy crap. Horrified, I screamed, "What happened to you?" The head smiled even bigger. "It feels great," the head groaned. After that, I woke up. It was dark outside by then. Everything was quiet.
What a lovely,
Yeah.
wake up to, now it's dark.
I like it. Other dreams have been just as strange. Things like dark figures staring in my windows, even though I live on the second floor. Stuff that makes no sense in relation to what I've been experiencing in real life. After that dream about the head, I've been feeling uneasy all night. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I mean, I wouldn't be able to stop thinking about it either. I'd probably go for a midnight walk.
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, hey, I decided to go for a walk. If for no other reason than to get out of my apartment. I forgot. I don't remember reading that. I went to a bodega a few blocks away to get a snack. On the way, I had to pass the warehouse that was boarded up a few weeks ago. It's actually on the way to everything. I pass it twice a day just to get to the subway. I hurried past it since it freaks me out now. At the bodega, I got some Doritos and a seltzer, then made my way back home. Ooh, product placement. That's me just throwing out a flaw in the story. Doritos. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
Yep. He's getting money from Doritos now.
Doritos. Sponsored by Doritos. When I passed the warehouse a second time, I heard a dull thunk from the other side of the shutters. Ooh, I froze in place, but there was no other sound after that. I probably should have just continued on, but curiosity got the better of me. No. Would it have gotten the better of us?
I'm
No.
I've heard
there's
birds
a cat stuck in there, it's fine, or just...
Shutters, outside?
Oh.
Shutters?
I don't know.
I'm thinking something hit it, like the wind moved it.
Oh, yeah.
A bird. That's my mind. I would try to explain it to myself right away.
Yeah. He said there was a grated window next to the doors, about a foot above my head, too high to see into. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to hold my phone up to the window, take one photo, and then run for my life.
Where is he? Is he still at home?
I think he's outside by the warehouse. I made sure my flash was on, positioned my camera lens through one of the grates, and snapped a photo. I almost thought I saw movement when the flash went off, but I couldn't be certain. The light bounced off the grates and was pretty blinding. I couldn't even look at the photo. I just ran all the way home. I was too jumpy to look at it for a while. I just ate my Doritos nervously.
I would never look at the photo.
So Doritos are a good nerve calming food is what they're advertising here. I don't know. When I finally did look at the photo, here's what I saw. It seemed to be a different part of the warehouse, maybe an office. There was a bunch of old insulation and what looked like a filing cabinet and a ripped up leather desk chair. Okay, there's something else in this photo. I have a hard time seeing it. You really have to, it's one of those things where once you see it, you really were looking for it.
Okay.
Then I noticed something else in the upper right corner, something that looked like a face. The more I stared at it, the more it started to look like a nondescript blur. Now I can't even be sure what I'm seeing. Maybe I'm too deep into this and my brain wants to see David when he's not there. But here, I messed with the filters on my phone a bit. Tell me this doesn't look like him. So I can see a nose, 2 eyes, and a mouth right there. Like, I can see it. But at this point, do you see it kind of?
Maybe.
It's you're looking for it at this point. September 22nd. This is all 2017. The past few days have been fairly quiet. I haven't been spending much time at home. I leave for Japan in a couple hours. I've been trying to avoid anything weird before my trip. I still feel like this all might stop if I just leave for a couple weeks. Whatever happens, I want to thank everyone for their kind thoughts and concerns. This whole ordeal has been stressful, and it means a lot. It makes me feel like I'm not going through this alone. See you in a couple weeks. So September 29th. I bought a votive tablet at the shrine I'm at in Japan. I don't know what that is. And then there's a picture that says, please protect my cats while I'm away from home. October 3rd. It's my last full day in Japan. This is a thread from there. The past couple weeks have been pretty peaceful. I have people taking care of the cats, and they say they've been doing fine. This morning, went for a long walk around Sapporo. I never really plan my vacations. I like to wander a lot and see what I find. Came across the statue in a park. I couldn't find out any real information about it online, but it was weird and pretty. I was taking pictures of it from different angles since it's cylindrical. I moved around to one side and almost dropped my phone at what I saw. It felt too similar to be a coincidence. I felt dizzy staring up at it. This kid with a dented head. You see him?
Kind of.
It's a stretch. It's another stretch.
It looks like a baby's
Here,
head.
he zooms in. See, it has like that little dent like David did.
It looks like both sides are that way.
He's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe this is nothing. It doesn't feel like nothing. It's so creepy, but I mean. Anyway, I have to pack for my flight home in the morning. It'll be good to see the cats again, at least. So October 5th. Look at his cat. Isn't it cute? I made it home safely. The cats are fine, if a little more talkative than usual. October 14th. Weird things have been happening with electricity in my apartment this week. First, 2 bulbs have burnt out in the hallway in less than a week. At this point, I've just left it alone, rather than get a ladder again. But the strangest thing has to do with the backlight on my TV. It's an LED strip that plugs into the TV itself via USB. The TV has to be on in order for the backlight to be on. But last night, the backlight was flickering on and off by itself. Time for a new TV.
I would say it's a short.
Yeah,
It's a bad wire.
It's just a bad wire. I noticed it just sometime before dawn when I woke up and went into the kitchen to get some water. I'd barely gotten back into bed again when I saw a faint light come on in the living room. After a few seconds, it went dark again. I went back into the living room and stood there watching the backlight go on and off, for at least a few minutes. It was bizarre. Eventually it stopped, and now the backlight doesn't work at all. It's only a couple months old, so it shouldn't be dead already. Anyway, I couldn't get back to sleep, so I went to the diner near my apartment. It was the only thing open at 4 a.m. I had eggs over easy with ham. It was too much ham, but the eggs were pretty good.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Now he's sharing everything.
He shares everything at this point. When I got back home, the sun was starting to come up, so I figured I might as well shower and go into work early. I showered and brushed my teeth, then headed into the bedroom to get dressed. As I passed the front door, I thought I heard a faint scratching sound from the other side. It was so soft I wasn't sure it had really happened. I went over the door, but I was too scared to look through the peephole. I couldn't bring myself to actually put my face that close to the sound, so I opted to take a photo through the peephole instead, so we know how that works out. Since there's a skylight just outside my door, the hall was awash in faint yellow-green light. I snapped a couple photos. At first, the pictures didn't seem like anything, just blurry nothingness. But as I analyzed it and started noticing things, part of a face, an ear, and an eye staring right back at me. So
I saw his cat's face, kind of.
I see nothing in this photo. Oh, hey, that actually looks like a distinct ear right there, doesn't it?
I don't see it.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as stretched as I get. Just so you know, I'm kind of reading blindly with you at this point. I've read this far and I'm like, might as well just be in the moment as I read this too. I've heard the whole story before, but I've kind of forgot half of this now, so I have all the creeps. I think maybe it's time to get someone else involved. It's obvious this isn't going to stop until I do something. I'm just not sure what that is yet. I'll let you all know when I figure it out. For those who couldn't make it out,
Oh, and
he explains it.
examines.
October 26th. Sorry for the radio silence the past couple weeks. Didn't seem too long. First, I had a friend come over to do some cleansing stuff. She did the whole apartment and the hallway. A lot of self-proclaimed professional mediums have reached out, plus about a dozen ghost hunter TV shows. Wonder if Zach Bagans got involved. I declined them all because I don't really want strangers in my house sensationalizing what's going on. Or is it because it's not real?
Yeah, it could be.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I totally think this is real. So instead, I had a friend come over and cleanse the place, and for about a week or so, it seemed like it worked. Things appeared to go back to normal. The cats weren't gathering at the door anymore. I stopped having dreams. It was starting to seem like it was over.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Right? Then one morning last week, I was walking to work and passed the shuttered warehouse as usual. This time, all the metal doors were wide open, sunlight pouring in. The warehouse was still mostly empty except for one thing.
Is it the chair?
There was a hearse parked near the back wall. God.
That's
Why? Oh my gosh. The warehouse had been closed for over 2 months. I have no idea why it was open that day. Nobody was around. It was weird, but I tried not to think about it. It's not all that strange to see a hearse, I guess. Like they have to park somewhere in an empty, abandoned warehouse, but okay. I tried to put it out of my mind, and then the next several days were uneventful. But something else happened last night. It was around 11 or so, and I was watching TV on the couch. I went into the dining room to get a drink from the fridge and noticed both the cats sitting by the far window, staring up at it. The window looks out onto the roof of the business next door. I glanced out the window but didn't see anything. I figured that maybe there was a mouse in the wall or something. I shrugged and grabbed a beer from the fridge. As I went into the kitchen to get the bottle opener, I noticed something. There's a window in the kitchen which looks out onto the same roof, and someone was standing on the roof staring at me. I immediately ducked down. I reached up and flicked off the light switch. I peered over the windowsill but couldn't see much. My phone was in my pocket, so I grabbed it and took a photo. It was blurry and dark, but I swear someone was out there. I don't see anything in this photo.
I don't see anything either. I'm okay with that.
I tried to take a better photo, but the figure had disappeared. I closed all the blinds and made sure the door was locked and then drank like 5 more beers until I was too drunk to be scared. That sounds like us.
That might make me more scared.
I get a lot braver.
If I'm already freaked out, though, I think.
Oh, I suppose.
I don't know.
But now I feel like I'm back at square one. I'm sure it was him. He's not going away. I don't know what to do. So November 6th. It's been about 4 months since the first time I dreamed of David. This might be long, but stick with me. Last night, I dreamed about him again. It was almost exactly the same as the first time I saw him. In the dream, I saw him in a chair again. I don't have the green chair in my room anymore. This time, it was a recliner I've had for years. Oh, great. He was staring right at me, just like the first time. Again, I felt paralyzed and could barely move, but this time, something was different.
You should apologize to him for asking him 3 questions.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good idea.
Can you only ask him 2 total? Or, like, can you ask him 2 one
Every
night?
time you see him? I don't know. It wasn't clear. I still felt mostly immobile, but I could squirm just a little bit. I felt more alert. I could move my hands somewhat. David glared at me, and I dreaded what I knew was coming. He was going to get out of the chair and come toward me, like before. I had to do something. I keep my phone next to me on the bed and somehow managed to get a hold of it. I thought, if David is going to kill me, maybe I can at least get evidence on my phone. I started snapping pictures in the dark. Sure enough, he crawled down off the chair and began shuffling toward me. He moved slowly, like it was a struggle for him.
I'm picturing
Ugh.
Billy on American Dad.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm getting stronger.
That would be terrifying to see Billy in a real person. I felt terrified, but I kept taking photos. David limped closer toward me, never taking his eyes off me. Soon, I was face to face with him. He started muttering something, too quiet for me to understand. I watched as his eyes rolled back in his head until they were all white. I tried to writhe away from him, but I could barely move. I stared in horror as he began crawling up onto my bed, still murmuring something. And that's when I woke up, same as before, broad daylight, no trace of David anywhere. It's almost routine now, but it was a dream after all, so I got up and went to work, and after a while the stress of the dream melted away. I wasn't even going to write about this since it wouldn't really be new information, but tonight I noticed something that petrified me. I went into my phone to find a picture from a couple days ago and saw dozens of pitch black photos in my camera roll, all from last night. Oh, because technically he's sleeping.
Yeah.
His sleep paralysis, we've determined, he's technically sleeping. It's better to show you. Turn up your brightness because they're pretty dark.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
So there's a dark photo.
Dark photo.
Dark photo. Ooh, what the heck is that? Oh my God. Oh, you can make out a kid in that.
Kind of, yeah.
You can. Oh gosh.
Keep scrolling.
Ah! Oh, he amplified it. Yep, look at that. That's like straight up a kid. This is the one that made my heart drop, he says. Yep, I got goosebumps. All right, let's get past those.
I mean, it's a blur, but
it looks like I didn't have to try to look for that. I saw it.
Yeah,
Usually
definitely something.
Usually I can come up with some excuse for what's happening, but I have no logical explanation for this. So now I'm sitting here on my couch freaking out. I certainly won't be able to sleep. I just felt like I needed to get this out. Well, I'm glad you did. November 17th. For everyone asking, yes, I'm alive. I've been on the quiet side because there's something I'm trying to investigate, and I'm not sure how to yet. I'd rather not tweet unless I have something substantial to share. So, it's also... Oh, what?
I was going to say, so now we might get juicier. Like he said, it's going to be all substantial stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not just going to be, I had eggs and ham today.
I hope not. It's also sort of hard to explain the logistics of what I'm trying to find out, but I'll do my best. Basically, there's a part of my apartment I'm just now learning about.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm. At least that's what I think. To refresh your memory, I live at a duplex. I used to live on the first floor, and now I live on the second floor. It's a long, boxy building that looks like this. He drew a nice, beautiful roof where I think I saw David, roof that I don't have access to. All right. It's a nice picture. The other week, I was tweeting the most recent update from the living room couch. About 30 seconds after I'd sent the last tweet, I heard a thump directly above my head, as if someone above me had dropped something on the floor, which is impossible since I'm in the top apartment. Ugh. There's also no way to access the roof. There aren't any ladders on the outside of the building. The only way you'd get on the roof is through a skylight in the hallway. There are no trees in the immediate vicinity either. It definitely wasn't pipes either. It was distinctly the sound of something falling to the floor. My building is old and makes lots of noises, but this was a new sound, and it startled me.
I'm glad we have dogs to, when I hear noises.
To blame, yeah.
Or, I blame the cats for the noises, and then if we hear a noise and the dogs are fine, I'm like, okay, we're good.
Yeah, at least.
He needs a dog, too.
I like to think I'm fine, yeah. So I'm thinking, is there some secret crawl space in my home? I look all over my apartment, but I can't figure it out. So I go into the hallway, and that's when something dawns on me. There's no real way to ease into this, so I'll just say it. There's a mysterious hatch in my hallway. I've always known about it, but I just assumed it opened directly to the roof. Oh, gosh, that's creepy looking.
I'm not going in it either.
I'm not going to question anybody about it. It's really high above the stairs, so I figured it was impossible to access without some sort of fancy professional ladder. I took this video so you can see how high it is.
Okay, so it looks high.
Mm-hmm. I see the hatch every morning when I leave for work and think nothing of it, but this time something dawned on me. It can't lead to the roof because it's actually below the roof. I'm about to spring some simple math on you, so I apologize in advance. First, the skylight is flat with the roof. I checked Google Earth to make sure. The hatch is about 3 feet below the skylight. Meanwhile, there's about 3 feet of empty space between the two openings. Oh. So there's probably a crawl space. I think maybe the hatch leads to a short ladder going to the roof, but even if that's the case, the hatch is level with all the ceilings in my apartment. That means there's 3 feet of empty space all over my apartment. Ooh, creepy.
I don't like that.
No, I had access to the crawl space in one of my apartments. I don't like access to attics, and this was my first year of college, so I went to Walmart and bought a kitty poster. Literally just kittens all over it. Your simple Walmart post. And I pinned it. And thank God I was not in my room because there was a storm, windy storm that day. We went into my room and the kitty poster was sucked up into it. So the wind must open it a little.
Vacuum.
Oh my God. I don't know how I slept in that room after that, but that scared the living bejesus out of me. All right, sorry, I just want to share that. That's what that thing reminds me of. I was ready to, and that's why I like our house because that's not a thing here. I was ready to explain this away for a few reasons. One, it might just be some sort of insulated space that all residential buildings have. I'm not an architect, so what do I know? It didn't seem relevant enough at the time, so I decided I was going to mention it here. But over the past week and a half, I've been hearing more things above me. A few days after the first sound, I heard a similar thump while I was in the kitchen. Then last night, I heard something small clink on the floor and roll about 6 feet before stopping. Hey, maybe someone lives in there. You know, there's real
We've
stories
seen
about
several movies like that
yeah,
too
there's
lately.
people who live in small spaces that aren't supposed to. Something is going on up there. Maybe it's a raccoon, but maybe it's not.
Can you call the cops to check this out?
I would. There, hoax right there. At this point, you really should have called the cops. I also can't get over the fact that the hatch is in such a weird, inaccessible place over the stairs. I need to investigate. I'm just not sure how right now. I guess I'll try to buy a long pole off. Call the landlord. I guess I'll try to buy a long pole off Amazon to see if the hat. Oh, Amazon. Ooh. More promotions. Promotional advertisement here. To see if the hatch even moves. I might have to buy a construction ladder.
From what store?
Right? At any rate, that's why I've been MIA for a minute. I'll keep you posted when I figure out how to get up there. Okay, I bought a pole. If the hatch is movable, I'll either shell out for a ladder or call my landlord to investigate. Okay.
I would have called the landlord right
Oh, look
away.
at, he did a picture. And look at, sold by Amazon. In the Breeze heavy-duty telescoping pole. I don't know, it's just kind of funny to buy a pole. We are on to November 28th. A lot has happened in the last week, but I was away for Thanksgiving, so I'm just not able to write it all
I would have
down.
stayed away.
Right? I would have just moved to a different, not even city, but different state. The noises from the ceiling haven't let up, but the pole I ordered didn't arrive before I had to leave for the holidays, so I didn't actually get it until late Friday night. I planned to investigate the next morning and went to bed. I'd barely fallen asleep when I woke up to an incredibly loud crash above me. It sounded like someone had dropped a bowling ball. I bolted upright in bed and immediately felt strange. There was a weird energy all around me. I can't explain it. After about a minute, I heard another crash. I briefly thought about grabbing my shoes and booking it, but that would mean passing under the hatch, and that seemed like a bad idea. So instead, I just listened and waited, though I'm not sure what for. Crash happened again, and then again, probably 15 minutes in a row, followed by a long silence. Then I heard a smaller, creaky sound from the hallway. In my mind, I registered it as a footstep, but it really could have been anything. I stayed still, but there were no more sounds after that. I lay back down, still tense and nervous, but I must have fallen asleep at some point because I woke up the next morning and everything seemed normal again. I got dressed and left to go get a bagel, same as every Saturday.
I think it's coffee every weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. As I made my way down... It's not adding up.
Yep.
Not matching. As I made my way down the stairs, something crunched under my feet. I looked down and noticed a pile of debris on the stairs. Directly under the hatch. Oh, that's just peachy keen. It looked like dirt, but I couldn't tell for certain. It could have been old plaster or something. I glanced up at the hatch and noticed something else peculiar. The edge of something was caught in it, barely poking out. It's hard to see because it's far up, but I took a photo. Oh, right there.
Looks like cloth or something.
Mm-hmm. Someone's living there. At that point, bagels were the last thing on my mind. Be the first thing on my mind still. I went back upstairs and grabbed the pole. No. Why?
No.
I set my camera on the coat wardrobe at the top of the stairs and hit record just to make sure it would be caught on video if a demon burst out of the hatch. Here's the video.
Okay, so it's him opening it. Okay, so he's banging on the hatch.
Ooh, something fell out.
It looked like a
sock.
I thought it was a dead mouse. Okay, go to the next one so we
know what's happening. I jumped out of the way and practically fell down the stairs trying to dodge whatever it was that fell. At first I thought it was a dead squirrel, which would honestly explain a lot. It hit the steps and bounced down to the first floor. I went upstairs to get my phone and collapsed the pole since it's so long and unwieldy, then went back downstairs to investigate the object that fell. At first I wasn't sure what it was. It was a dingy, faded black. I picked it up and realized what it was. It was a small leather shoe.
Oh, that's creepy.
Oh, that's really creepy. Ugh. Roll down my sleeves, getting the goosebumps. I hustled back upstairs and texted my landlord. I told him I thought there was something in the crawl space and asked if he could investigate.
I bet they find nothing.
Right. He said he'd come by later with the ladder and check it out. A few hours later, my landlord was on the ladder, shining a flashlight into the crawl space. I stared up at him, half expecting something to grab him and yank him into the darkness. He angled his flashlight all around and finally saying, "There's nothing up here." Well, dude, you need to, really get in there. Come on. But then he was like, "Oh, wait, I watched as he reached up into the emptiness with his free arm, and when he pulled it back, he had something small and round in his hand. He climbed down the ladder and handed it to me. What's it going to be?
I bet it's a
A
ball.
marble? Again, I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at. It was smooth and shiny, and at first I thought it was an old piece of candy, but it was cold and too heavy to be candy. After a second, I realized it was a marble.
It was a marble.
Sorry, I read that. I wasn't guessing it was a marble. I'm not that good.
Oh.
I was anticipating and I read ahead. It was so worn that it hadn't registered as a marble at first. Oh my god. Its shape was also sort of weird with a little bump on one end.
I don't see it.
I don't see it, but I'm assuming like David's head. You know, my landlord seemed unbothered for the most part. Okay, dude. And he told me to call him if I heard anything else. I went inside and headed to my office to see if I could figure anything out about this marble that somehow made its way into my ceiling. I had nothing to go on, and in short, I didn't really learn much, but I did figure out the bump on the marble, I think. Apparently, in the early 1900s, they made marbles by hand and cut them with big metal scissors, which could mean the marble is probably really old. Anyway, now I have a decrepit old shoe and a marble sitting on my dresser. I guess this is the new normal.
I would not have them in my house.
No. So December 12th, sorry for the long break. I haven't been feeling great the past couple weeks and haven't had time to update. There also wasn't much to say for the most part. I wasn't sleeping well, and I was having weird dreams, but they were vague and hard to describe. I'm sleeping all day long, and I've been getting sudden bouts of dizziness. I chalked it up to always having earbuds crammed in and made a mental note to get my ears checked. Other than that, things were pretty quiet. I sort of fooled myself into thinking that finding those items in the attic somehow ended all this. Not that that would make much sense. But last week, something started to happen. Late on Wednesday, I woke up with a start and felt something strange, like something had just been watching me. I turned on the light, but I was alone. Still, there was that tangible feeling of badness. Everything felt wrong, sort of like when you have the flu and you wake up at night and can't really tell where you are for a minute. I hate that feeling. It was a feeling I'm used to. It always accompanies David. People tweet at me a lot saying he must just need help, but I'm certain that's not the case. Every time he shows up, I feel a palpable sense of malice. There's what I felt that night, malice, dread, but still I was alone. And I was so tired I wound up just going back to sleep. I've been so exhausted recently, I can barely function. The next night, the same thing happened. I woke up suddenly, feeling like I had just missed something, seeing something. Like a candle had just gone out and I could still smell it. I thought about using the pet cam from the living room to monitor my bedroom while I slept, but the cord was too short to get the camera high enough to see the entire room, so I improvised.
Oh, I just wouldn't have.
No. I downloaded an app that takes a photo every 60 seconds and set my phone on top of a bookcase. It's almost 7 feet tall, so I had a pretty good view of my bed and the surrounding room. Then I went to sleep. Just like before, I jolted awake hours later feeling the same unease. I turned on the light and hurried out of bed to get my phone from the bookcase, where there were probably 350 photos to scroll through. How often does it take? Oh, every 60 seconds. Oh, God. The vast majority of them were me sleeping in the empty room. It's sort of dark, but you can see me sleeping. I've left a couple night lights on, just in case anything showed up, but for the first 100 or so photos, it was just me in an empty room. I know what photo we're gonna see, because this is like, oh, God. There he is.
Maybe I just don't look.
Okay, see this photo right here?
Yeah.
What's different in this photo?
There's something.
Do you see a kid sitting there? And suddenly, he was
like
there,
it.
standing on the chair at the foot of the bed, staring at me. In the next photo, from a minute later, he seems to be staring straight up at the ceiling, just staring. Then he appears to collapse on the chair. The next dozen photos are all the same. He's completely lifeless. At first, I thought he was dead, which obviously doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense. I looked over at the chair, half expecting him to still be there, but it was empty.
These are like real photos. They're very creepy.
But then, in the next photo, he's gone. The room is totally empty again. He's gone in the next several photos, too. I figured maybe that was it, but I kept swiping through the photos. About 15 photos later, he was back, standing next to the bed. It was just like the last time I saw him. I don't see him.
Neither.
I'm going to stop looking for him.
Yeah, same here. I'm kind of on that point right now. Like, I'm not looking already.
That's when my heart started to race. I didn't want to look at the rest of the photos, but I knew I had to. I swiped to the next photo, and my heart sank into my stomach. He was on the bed, inches from me, staring down at me, sleeping. Did you want to see that photo?
No.
The next one was worse. The next photo, he's staring right at the camera. I can't do it.
And I'm looking at your face.
Do it right now. After that, there's seemingly nothing. He disappears again, and the rest of the scroll is just me alone in my room again. That is, until the last photo. Here's the final photo on the scroll. Ooh!
What is it?
Oh my god, it's an ear.
Oh,
It's his hair. That's hair and... Oh,
okay.
fudge.
So that looks like it could be like the corner of a mask or something. I'm like playing it off as that. because-
I'm at a loss for words. That malformed ear, that stringy hair. I didn't even know what to think. I looked all over my room but couldn't find anything. And honestly, I've been so exhausted I didn't know how to process it. Even now, all I want to do is just go to sleep. Oh my god,
I would want to go somewhere else.
Yeah. December 20th. Hey everyone! I'll be gone for the next week visiting family back home in Montana for the holidays. It'll be nice to get away from all this for a bit. Thanks for everyone's kind words lately. I'll see you when I get back. I'd be like, I'm never coming back. January 2nd. So I've been away from the city for a couple weeks. I went home to Montana for the holidays, and almost immediately I started to feel better. They do say, like, if there is an energy, like, they can drain you. I started to feel better, less tired, less foggy. Up until now, I haven't really entertained the thought of moving, thinking that David would probably just follow me wherever I go. Oh yeah, I suppose if he felt better in Montana, he wasn't following him at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But when I left for Montana, everything seemed to improve. Like maybe David wouldn't follow me after all. Maybe he was tied to the house, not me. Being home felt safer, and I managed to relax a little bit. I even started browsing listings for new apartments back in New York. The last thing I wanted to do is move in the middle of the winter, but after the past few months, it seemed like it might be worth it. It felt like there might be a way out.
Yeah, I'd move.
Yeah, but after a few days, I started to feel strange again. One night, I got up to go to the bathroom, and as I stood there in the dark, I couldn't help feeling like there was something moving outside the bathroom window. The bathroom looks out into the backyard, and it was pitch black. I could barely see anything, but it's Montana, and there are animals passing. So is he in Montana?
Oh, apparently he is. I thought he was back home.
I thought he was back home. The bathroom looks out into the backyard. Oh, he's still... Okay, so he's at home. Yeah, he's in Montana right now. He didn't get back. I thought he did. The bathroom looks out into the backyard, and it was pitch black. I could barely see anything, but it's Montana, and there are animals passing through all the time. Sure enough, in the morning, I found animal tracks through the snow. I don't know the specific animal. Deer? Elk? It's a terrible photo. I can't even tell. The next night, the same thing happened. I got up in the middle of the night and thought I saw movement in the blackness outside. This time I stood at the window and gazed out, straining my eyes to see, waiting for them to adjust to the night. For a long time, I stared out into the snowy darkness, but couldn't see any movement. Then, just as I was about to turn away, I saw something lurch off to the right and disappear from view. Again, it was too dark to make out the animal, but it could have been anything. Maybe a coyote or something.
In case you hear a cat meow or purr or yell at us, we now have Lola in here for moral support.
Emotional support.
Because it's scary.
Yeah, but it's also, we've been recording for over an hour, so the animals needed some attention, so we had to take a quick break. Alright, so the night he saw foot tracks again. Ooh! In the morning, as I was getting out of the shower, I glanced out the window and noticed tracks behind the garage.
It's like too many random things.
Oh gosh. I couldn't tell what they were from the bathroom, so I got dressed, put on my coat, and went outside. When I got up close, my heart practically stopped. They weren't tracks, they were footprints. Really small footprints. I followed them across the backyard, but they disappeared into the ditch out back. I stood there in the snow, not knowing what to do. What could I do? Call the cops and tell them I found footprints in the snow? The last couple nights, I was too scared to leave my room. If it had been David out there in the snow, it meant that he could follow me anywhere. No matter where I moved, he could find me. I felt helpless. I flew back to New York the day after Christmas. Back in my apartment, it seemed like I was at square one yet again. I've tried everything I can think of. I've saged my apartment. I've hired a medium. Nothing has worked. And worse, I still feel him at night, watching me from different corners of my room, always getting closer and waking up right before something happens. For the past few nights, I've been using that app that takes photos every couple minutes.
Oh, why?
But, yeah, I would be done. But nothing has shown up. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem to work anymore, but I've left it running just in case. It's picked up absolutely nothing, save for one thing from last night. Oh, I think it was a typo from him. Then he was hovering above my bed, staring down at me, his mouth moving faster than it should be. I couldn't move. I could only look up at him. It skipped something. It said, last night was particularly bad. I felt sick and had nightmares all night. I dreamt that David was hovering in the corner by the ceiling, far off the ground. He was mouthing something, but I couldn't hear any words. So then when I just read it said then he was hovering above my bed, it skipped putting that in bigger letters. Suddenly he plummeted downward, and I felt this huge pressure crash into my chest. I woke up gasping, the wind completely knocked out of me. I sat up and looked around and frantically heaving for air, but there was nothing. When I caught my breath, I retrieved my phone from the dresser. The photo roll showed nothing of note except for the last photo taken just a moment before. Didn't I read that already?
No.
Oh. It looks like it's spooning him.
It's like on his bed. It's weird.
Yeah, like there's his arm. I just don't know what to do. I'm at a loss here. I just don't know. January 16th. Sorry for the long delay. Honestly, I wasn't sure I was going to tweet again. After what happened a couple weeks ago, everything stopped. Well, sort of. I wasn't having dreams anymore, and I was feeling better. I was sleeping through the night again. It feels like we are going back to the same storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was feeling great. I still do, but things have been sort of weird, too. It's hard to explain. I'll try. But I don't know if any of it makes sense. Basically, as good as things have been for the past couple weeks, I can't shake the feeling that something is off.
What are the cats doing?
Yeah, we haven't heard about the cats in a while. Like, I've been sleeping fine. I have lots of energy during the day, but sometimes I seem to sort of lose time, I guess. Like, I'll look up at the clock and realize a whole hour has gone by and I don't remember any of it. Or I'll mishear someone and ask them to repeat what they said, but they'll say they didn't say anything. Little stuff like that. But after what I've been through, that's not a big deal. Despite all that, I felt ready to put it all behind me. So on Sunday, I opened Twitter, intending to update you all that it was over. Or at least I thought so. I just want things to go back to the way they were, and it seemed like they had. I was writing something to that effect when I noticed I had way more notifications than usual. I swiped to my mentions and saw that everyone was tweeting to me about something I'd posted to my Instagram story the day before, saying they saw something weird. The stories were expired now, but I have screenshots and I don't know how to explain it. Long story short, I went to brunch on Saturday with a friend. I posted a few photos to my story and they were fairly unremarkable. Here's the first two I posted, totally dumb and normal.
So food.
And him with a girl. I'm not looking for anything. Someone will tell us what happened. They're totally boring brunch photos. I posted one more photo of me and my friend before leaving, and that was that. But the next day I had a zillion messages about the third photo I posted. People had taken screenshots and sent them to me. This is what somehow got uploaded to my Instagram story. It's like a deformed photo. Like, she looks normal, but he has one regular eye and one deformed eye.
Yeah, it just looks like the screen.
It looks like it does. I have no clue what happened. It looked perfectly fine on my phone when I uploaded it. I'd say it was a glitch, but I can't make sense of what's happening with my face. Maybe I can. I know what it looks like, what it probably is, but I don't know if I care anymore. I really just want things to be normal again, and things feel normal enough right now. I don't know. I guess I'll keep you updated if something else happens. Is this the same tweet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's a video. I don't know if I want to see it.
So we just watched a video of the cat meowing at the door. February 3rd. Everything is fine. That's what he's telling himself. February 14th. Please don't worry about me. I'm okay, and everything will be like it was before. With a smiley face. Then there's another video.
It looks like the cat at the door.
So the cat's staring.
I like the videos.
I'm fast forwarding. The cat's just staring up at something and meowing, like usual. Reacting poorly. Alright, we're speeding things up. So we're March 12th. We are in 2018, just so everyone's aware. For everyone asking if I'm alive, I'm doing okay. It's been pretty quiet around here lately, and I've been trying to focus on work. Of course, I'll keep you updated if anything strange happens, but for now I'm staying busy with drawing and other projects. Alright, so we had to take one more pause because everything was loading slow, and it turns out it came to an end. That was the last thing I read to you was basically the last thing he ever updated us about. He did, however, update us on March 18th and said, I've said a few times that I'd update if anything happened. I'm not going to start inventing stuff just to keep a steady flow of updates. I promise I'll keep you informed, but if you're only here for David tweets, I don't know what to tell you. I've had this account for 8 years. So he's just stating that he's going to be making regular posts again, not just about David. So there you have it. That is the Dear David saga. I hope you guys stuck around for the whole thing. But yeah, so it's left a little bit open-ended.
Well, I want to know more about it.
But I hope you guys listen to the whole thing because otherwise you gotta... This was in case you didn't want to read the whole thing. But, you know, they say, is it a hoax? So one of the main reasons I can see this being a hoax is from BuzzFeed. Apparently, there was a case a while back made on BuzzFeed, and it was a video about an unsolved murder of a boy with a strange-shaped head. So people are questioning if Ellis could have gotten inspiration from that. Also, just putting this out there, if this transitions oddly, it's because I had to add this at the end because I totally skipped over my notes. And I did notice I've said this lasted over a year. I'm not sure the exact timeline because we start talking about it in August. However, he talks about months prior to leading up to when he started recording everything. And then when I say through the winter of 2018, that only goes till March. So I'm not sure of the exact dates, but it sounds like it could, depending on how many months he goes prior, it could be about a year. But yeah, so I just wanted to add that, and then I'll go into the next couple reasons why it could be a hoax. Okay, so we already know he worked for BuzzFeed, so he had popularity there, and he was very creative. So people think he could have got inspiration from that. He has a book out called Books of Adam, and it talks about all the odd things that happened to him in life. And it's random things, like just being unlucky. So this is not proving it as a hoax, but saying like, oh, he's an unlucky person. Maybe something did happen to him. But then he also has another book, and people wonder if Dear David helped him get that second book, or if it's even part of the project. But that's just one of the rumors. And then there was some guy who's debunking all the photos and being like, with what year it was, the photo shouldn't be that grainy and stuff. But I take pretty crappy photos at night, so I'm not...
Yeah.
Some of those photos, I don't know, I'm not going to try to recreate them. And then the cats, you had to get them to react weird. Mm-hmm. Granted, you could have totally put someone on the other side of the door, I suppose.
True.
So I guess there's some things, but like the cat in the middle of the night, I don't know how you'd recreate that, hanging something from the ceiling that we all can't see. I don't know. And then lastly, it is now becoming a movie. It's been in the works for quite some time yet, and there is no release date yet. But I can tell you this, they'll probably give us an ending.
I'm not watching it.
I don't think I could watch the movie, though, because I can tell you it's scary enough to just follow these tweets and see the photos and videos that I don't think I could watch the movie. We'll watch it in daylight with some wine. All right.
And then,
but yeah, how'd you like that story?
It was spooky.
Yeah.
I heard a noise outside her door, and I'm like, oh, I know it's the dogs and the cat, but
at least we have our pets.
Spooky story.
Yeah. Well, I know we're going to keep it shorter because of how long my story was. But what can we do if we find ourselves in Brooklyn, New York?
Pretty much anything.
I was going to say, I know this one's going to be a little more simple.
I looked up things to do, and it was pretty much the gist of it was try all this different food, go to some museums, go see a musical.
I like that. Yeah. That's completely different from everything we've done so far with hiking and stuff. This time, your cultural would be to go see a musical if you like those. Go to a museum. I like that. I would do all of those. I'd love to see I love musicals. I can see us doing that.
Yeah. Otherwise, they said stuff like, I would not be interested in this. It said botanical gardens, which if you live where we live and you have nature all around you.
Yeah, but
if you live
they
there,
can be beautiful because they have different types of foliage. And plus, Milwaukee has one, so we could go if we wanted to. I think they do. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping that one short.
Yeah.
After all that.
I'm glad I added 1 minute to this.
Thank you. 1 minute to this hour.
I'm pulling my weight.
Hour, and I don't know how long this is going to be after I edit it, but...
I'm disappointed, though.
Why?
That the story just ends.
Yeah, see...
I wanted a conclusion.
It's weird that there's no follow-up now, which makes me not believe it. He just got sick of the story. He got what he wanted out of it. He got some money from Doritos and some money from Amazon. No one pointed out that. But with all the movies we watch now and how stupid product placement can be, I thought that was pretty clever and that could also be considered part of it.
I still think it almost makes it seem more real, or he had a publicist or someone telling him to do that post. Yeah. He's not going to make stuff up to keep the thread going.
Mm-hmm. Also, the kids' footprints in the snow.
They looked like they could have been like a fox or something.
No, I thought they did look like...
Oh, but they were very, to me, they looked like circles.
I was going to say, but either way, you couldn't set that one up unless you did find a little kid and be like, hey, can you just go, randomly do this little walk for me? All right, well, we'll wrap it up since we're already almost at an hour and a half. So thank you guys for listening. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Creepy Travels and YouTube. If you guys can go ahead and give us a like, comment, let us know what you like if you want to submit any stories. And we'll talk to you all next week.